Hello everyone, my name is Juliet with Jules Artsy Boutique, and today we're going to talk about how Jesus accepts you. He accepts us. He accepts you and me. And I'm going to get to talk about my little Itsy. I talk about both my dogs a lot, but I've not talked much about my little Itsy. When people first meet Itsy, they kind of have one of two responses. Response one, they go, "Oh my goodness, how adorable, she's so tiny," because she is. And response two, especially when they're looking kind of intently at her eyes, is they go, "Ugh, oh my goodness, what is wrong with her? What is that thing?" See, little Itsy was born with her eyes not developing completely normal, as well as with some other defects. And so she does have an odd look to her. She does not look like most other dogs. And she does not act and behave like most other dogs. She is a bit different. And many people are kind of uncomfortable with such things, or uncomfortable with different. They're afraid of it. So I would like to look at something that we see in the Bible. So in biblical times, there was an illness known as leprosy. And it's not really something we see in today's modern world, particularly in developed countries. It can be still rarely seen in some third world countries. And we know today that it is caused by a bacteria known as Mycobacterium leprae. And that is a treatable, curable illness, just like many other infections that we treat today. But in the time that Jesus walked this earth, they did not know what caused leprosy. It was a common illness, and people were afraid of it. They were afraid that they were going to catch it. They were afraid that it's contagious, but they also kind of saw the people with leprosy as unclean or dirty. They often associated this physical illness that the people had with a sense of sin, that it was because of their sin or because of the sin of their parents or something that these people had this affliction. So that was the common kind of belief or thinking. And because of that, these people with leprosy were kind of rejected by society. They often had to live on the outskirts of town. They were mistreated, they were abandoned, they were abused, they were rejected, isolated. So really kind of poor treatment of people with this illness. And thankfully, we don't really see leprosy today. We have other problems like COVID and whatnot, but we don't see a lot of leprosy. But I would still argue that today, even today, Christians today still treat certain people and populations much like they treated the people with leprosy. That they reject them and they isolate themselves from them out of fear. So I want you to think about it. Who is a people or a person or a type of people that maybe when you encounter, that your first instinct or your first natural response is to go, "Oh my goodness, yuck. What is that thing and what is wrong with them?" It's the common response that I even get from some people with my little dog Itsy, even though she's perfectly adorable and a sweetheart. That maybe people that you instinctively reject and say isolate yourself out of fear. Maybe it's the homeless. Maybe it's someone with a disability. Maybe it's people with mental illness. Who do you treat as if someone had leprosy? I'd like to read Mark 1:40-42. And this is about a man in the Bible that had leprosy. So Mark 1:40-42 says, "A man with leprosy came to him, begging him on his knees, 'If you are willing, you can make me clean.' Jesus was indignant. He reached out his hand and touched the man. 'I am willing,' he said. 'Be clean.' Immediately, the leprosy left him and he was cleansed." And that's Mark 1:40-42. You see, when Jesus was on this earth, he did some amazing miracles. He healed people with diseases that no one could heal. He cast out demons from people that no one else could cast out. But more importantly, and the biggest thing, is he came that we would receive forgiveness and have the opportunity for a restored relationship with God. Jesus died on a cross thousands of years ago, but he didn't just die on the cross. He came back to life 3 days later and ascended to heaven. God is in the business of healing. God is in the business of restoring. God is in the business of blessing and pouring his love on you. So no matter where you find yourself, no matter what disability you face, no matter what illness, or no matter what sin is in your past, know that nothing's too big for Jesus Christ. God bless. Jesus loves you.